Alright, complex Dynamesh to low poly representation. So what I have here is a mesh made from Dynamesh, and if you look at the poly frame, it's got some unique flow, no doubt about it. What we're going to be doing is taking a look at how to improve this and how to get a low res. The first off, know that if you uncheck Dynamesh and go to unfreeze subdivision levels, we have 2 levels. And if you lower it down, it has a mask, so I can clear that. Now, the problem with this is I won't be able to reconstruct subdivide it. Okay, so no reconstruct subdivide at that point. Also, notice it gives out anomalies onto the piece. So let's undo that. Just wanted to show you what happens. Instead of that, what we're going to do is make a Polymesh 3D out of this. And if I go to the Polymesh, you notice that nothing else is on. There's no Dynamesh, there's no nothing, but none of the anomalies show up on the piece. It still has some pretty jacked up flow, but that's okay. At least it's out of the Dynamesh mode. Okay, I'm going to go one step further and say, well, what if I made some surface noise onto it? So I'll divide it once, take smooth off. Use my mouse for this. Surface noise. And then I'm going to make a curve. Again, I'm using my mouse because I know the curve menu in here, if you use your Wacom drawing tablet, it's kind of hard to control sometimes. So it's very sensitive. Could probably turn that down somewhere, but that's okay. Okay, here's some rust. Just going to hit OK. So now I have a complex part with some kind of surface detail. Good enough. So my main mission is to get a high and low. To do that, I'm just going to clone it and append it back. That way I can keep it all in one part. So now I have 2. The top one I'm just going to leave alone. The bottom one is going to be my low poly representation of the top. To do this, I go to Decimation Master. I'll pre-process current. And then lower it down. I'm going to try and shoot for a 0.05. Generally I do this because it's very, very low. Okay, that's pretty low. Okay, let's go to 0.06 or something. That's pretty good right there. Notice the bottom one, if I take off the surface detail, I could. That's not important. You can actually lower it down with the surface detail on it or not. It'll still work with decimation. This one, I do want to apply it though. Okay, next. What I want to do is take a Z-sphere. Okay, it's in here somewhere. Gonna keep hopping back and forth from PM3D thing and the Z-sphere. Okay, so this one, I'm going to make a clone of the high. Go back to the Z-sphere and mount this under the rigging select mesh category. Make sure you hit bind mesh. Next, go back. I need the low poly representation of this. Again, I will clone it. Go to Z-sphere 1 now. And go to topology and go select topology. I'll select the low and then go into edit topology. Let's go to projection and turn on projection. And let's go to adaptive skin and turn the density up. This will allow more polygons to be produced, and the projection part of it is to project the high to the low. Let's hit A. Okay, there we go. Now if I add more density to it, takes a little longer, but I get a better representation of it. Okay, now check this out. Let's go back up here to make adaptive skin. And let's go find that skin. Should be labeled skin up here. Okay, looks just like the one before, but this time it has 6 sublevels. And I can lower it from a high to a low, and a low to a high. I'm going to save this out before I lose it. So there we go. That is how you get your low poly and high poly back from a Dynamesh object. That's what I want to really cover with this tutorial, so enjoy.